Pony.
Hey everybody, what's up?
Tails of Hero.
JTH, got our Sonics again.
Yep, and this is part 2 of
The Plague.
Interesting fan fiction so far, very odd.
Yes.
But we'll see what happens.
So anyways, here we go, The Plague.
Alrighty, so today we're going to be reading some more of the lovely fan fiction The Plague, in which Sweetie Belle discovers some strange new activity that all the ponies seem to be doing that involves rubbing their genitals together. So,
Yeah, buddy.
without further ado, let us begin.
Let's do it.
Do you want to know what I found? It's really
Pinky
good,
pie.
and I'll share it with you.
Oh boy.
Pinky's
Yeah.
voice was slightly hazy. She climbed on top of Sweetie's bed. Sweetie Belle knew exactly where this was going. No thanks, Pinky. I'm feeling a lot better now, so I think I'll just head back home. She slipped from under Pinky and ran out of the office and headed straight for Twilight's house. Perhaps she knew what
Yeah,
was
maybe
happening.
Twilight will know
Maybe
what's
she
going
could
on.
even use her magic
Yeah.
to stop it.
Sex
Sweetie
craze.
Belle stormed inside.
Disease.
Twilight! Twilight! Every pony has gone crazy! You gotta have some book or some spell that can... Sweetie's
Why'd you
eyes
stop?
widened at the sight of Twilight Sparkle using a book to rub herself. She
Oh,
quickly put the book down and stood up straight.
Really?
My
Really?
little pony! Something strange is happening indeed. Finally, a pony who I can talk to, Sweetie said in relief. But you know, Sweetie's eyes became darker.
uh-oh.
Is it really such a bad thing? Why should we stop it? It feels so good. Twilight started using the book on herself again, only this time in front of
Why
Sweetie
a...
Belle.
I know you
Can't
like to
believe
read
it.
books and...
Do you love reading that much?
Sweetie Belle fell into tears and rushed up to the unicorn and snatched the book away and ran off to the headquarters. She was panting when she arrived. She then glanced at the book she had taken. It read, The Pony's Complete Guide to Plants of the Everfree Forest. Sweetie knew it was a long shot, but she had no other choice. There's no way she could go anywhere without running into sex-driven ponies.
Yeah.
She searched through the book to find anything helpful. This doesn't help at all! She
Yeah.
threw the book out the window and sulked more until she fell asleep. The next day, Sweetie was woken up by Apple Bloom, who had come to the headquarters as she always does. Hey there, sleepyhead. Why weren't you at school today? Apple Bloom asked with a smile. Apple Bloom, do you have any idea what's happening in Ponyville right now? No, not really. But when I talked to Zecora the other day, she did say something weird about dark forces or something. I didn't really get it, but it sure sounds a lot like what you're talking about. Without even
maybe
thinking
Zecora has an
Apple Bloom
answer for
advice,
this.
Sweetie Belle dashed off to
Hopefully.
the Everfree Forest to speak with Zecora about the whole incident. Zecora! Something really weird is happening, and I hear you know something about it. What, child? Do you speak of the plague that is reigning over the poor town?
She does
Zecora
know.
walked from her cauldron.
Yeah, she does.
Yes! I don't know why, or even what really, but every pony is doing really strange things with each other. Sweetie Belle was excited as ever to finally get some answers.
What's
I'm
with the
afraid,
CM
my
Punch
child, that I cannot tell you what
I didn't
the source of
even
the
plan
plague,
it. I just
but I
set my
can
head
tell
down.
you that this is
I
not
wanted
the
to rest
first
my
time
head on
this
something.
has happened. It's not even rhyming. What the heck?
I know,
What the
right?
heck?
Unless he couldn't
I have
find
seen its
anything.
effects
Couldn't
on
think of
my
anything.
people, and it did not end well. It is a disease that I'm afraid even you are not immune to. It is only a matter of time before every pony will be sex-driven maniacs. So you're saying I should just accept it? Every pony says that it feels really good and no pony seems sad. Maybe it's for the best, Sweetie Belle said. Child, no! Do not give up on your friends! For you have not heard of what comes after the plague.
After?
What happens after? Once the disease remains in a pony for a certain amount of time, it is a different for every pony. They will slowly revert to an irreversible coma. But what can I do?
Oh.
I will assist you,
Harsh.
child. We must find the source of this plague and perform a sort of counter-enchantment upon it to reverse its effects on the victims. Zecora then flinched and fell over as if her stomach were very upset.
Uh-oh.
Child, you know that you are very admirable. Sweetie Belle backed up towards the door. I know it's the plague talking, but I cannot help myself, child. You are simply too precious.
Aw, not Zecora
No.
too.
No! No! Sweetie ran outside and tried to get to her
Not
sister
gonna lie,
as
that
quickly
was
as
a bit of a
possible.
fail.
After she had not been there when Rarity was supposed to check on her, she must be worried sick. However, on the way through the forest, she tripped and fell on a batch of plants, and a cloud of dust fell on her and she sneezed, but then kept going.
Yeah.
She bumped into Apple Bloom on the way. Sweetie Belle, something's gone wrong. Sis and Big Mac are acting really weird.
Oh.
Really weird.
Again with this.
Oh no.
We haven't even...
Off the record, I don't think we have ever heard of something like this since Princess Molestia. And that was like a while back.
Yeah.
Like at least a few months. And now we have to put up with that incest with the Apple family and that shit again. Yeah. Gonna be hard to listen to this a second time, but whatever.
Bigger problem on our Who. Can it wait? We have to go stop him.
Ow.
Apple Bloom has never been this worried. Oh, fine, let's go. They darted off for the apple farm, only to find it deserted with strange noises coming from the barn. The two fillies peeked in and saw Big Macintosh lying on his back in some hay, and Rarity pleasuring him with...
Oh!
This is terribly unladylike, but
Oh dear.
No.
you know, Big Macintosh, you're the only real man around here who can satisfy me. Rarity
Oh.
continued licking Big Mac's thing.
Okay.
Just say penis, man.
Okay. I know you've said this
The
before,
fillies, after
but
gaping in awe at the scene,
please
noticed
let me
that
live
Applejack was
vicariously
on the side
through
of the
Apple.
barn, rubbing herself to the
Big
scene.
Macintosh.
Big Mac, oh, you stallion, said Rarity. Applejack was panting and blushing. The thought that Big Mac was watching her sister please herself in front of him was too much for her to bear.
Really?
What?
Apple Bloom
What?
could not stop staring at the scene. It was the first time she had seen something like this. Sweetie Belle,
I knew she would be shocked, and what the fuck?
Curious. Everyone looked so happy. Why should she be the only one left out? Oh, does it feel?
Or as Sasuke would say.
Big Mac? Rarity lifted her head. Rarity lifted her head. Yup. Like, he probably says that in a more sensual tone. But just for the sake of comedy. Does that feel good, Big Mac? Rarity lifted her head. Yup. Big Mac. Rarity then began using her horn to rub the sides of his thing.
Really?
Huh?
Why would she,
You like
though?
that?
I
Don't you,
think a
darling?
unicorn's horn is sensitive too.
Replied the word monkey. Oh, well, this just isn't
No,
fair.
that just came from
You and
outside.
Applejack get to feel good, but who's going to cater to me? Rarity said in a whining tone.
Seriously?
I suppose I can take over for you, Rarity.
That's
Applejack
not
was
whining.
eager to
This
join in.
is whining.
Big Mac went to the floor and Rarity lay down as well, making it easier for Applejack to start rubbing her face in Rarity's special area.
Oh.
Oh.
Tongue and nose moved all around. Oh, my! Not so hard, Applejack. It's
Gently, please.
ladylike. Early. Rarity tilted her flank up and received Applejack's tongue
I
and
had
nose
to.
into her. She continued to suck on Big Mac. Pretty hard to act all ladylike when you're in this position, ain't it, Rarity? Applejack gloated. What are you talking about?
Oh dear God.
Rarity pushed her face into the ground, leaving Big Mac. I can't take it. It just feels so too good. More. Keep licking me. Oh, yes. Applejack pulled away.
People really have
What?
turned into sex
Why did
craving
you
monsters.
We ain't even gotten started at the good part. Applejack
Oh,
signaled
jeez.
Big Mac with a nod. Big Mac pushed Rarity up against the wall and held her up with one hoof. What? What are you going to? Rarity asked in fear. We're gonna finish this strong. That's how people in the
Oh,
Apple
boy.
family does things. Applejack explained. Just then, Big Mac pushed up and his thing penetrated her with one forceful motion.
Oh.
Big Mac began
She
moving
does
his
a
hips
really
back and
good,
forth.
like, Rarity voice.
This is, simply, Rarity continued to moan as Applejack watched her brother pleasure her friend. Sweetie Belle at this point was biting down on the barn door and could barely hold herself up to see what was happening inside. Big Mac thrusted harder and harder. Applejack went underneath and rubbed Rarity, as well as held a hoof still where Big Mac's thing was sliding by so that he would feel even more. I'm going to finish too
Why not just say I'm going
soon.
to come?
I know.
Rarity couldn't speak anymore. Keep... Oh my god. Keep at it, bro! Applejack
What
encouraged.
the fuck?
Big Mac finished inside of Rarity and let her down to the ground as she fell back. The two of them were sweating and exhausted.
Came inside of her.
Looks like you were too much of a woman for even Big Macintosh here, Rarity.
Nah.
Nice work, partner. But don't you think you get to leave me behind? You sure wore Big Mac out. I think he's done for a while, but I'm sure you still got some in you, don't you? Rarity just looked up inside. I guess I have
You
no
alright, dude?
choice.
Yeah, I'm okay.
Applejack laid down, propping herself up with her
Bad time
front
to take a
legs,
sip
while
of
Rarity did
soda.
the same, facing her.
Just like when we did Twy and me and you spit it everywhere.
I wouldn't want
Yeah,
to
I
hurt
spat soda all over your computer
Rarity
because
used
you
one of her
was
hind
banging
legs
your
to
head
begin
off the
rubbing
ground.
Applejack's
It was a
lower body.
pillow.
Okay,
Well, whatever.
so southern pleasure accent. Oh, hold on now. I don't think that... She was already lost in the pleasure as Rarity's hoof moving around and being slightly inside her. Oh dear, you are just too much. Big tough Applejack can't even handle a little rubbing.
Oh, pwned.
I can't
Pwned.
take it. Go ahead. Rub harder.
Ooh.
Rarity's rubbing became rougher as she was really trying to get Applejack to break. Big Macintosh lay beside her and started rubbing his sister with his own hoof. The combination
Really?
of the hooves from friends and family made Applejack collapse from the pleasure. Y'all are taking me. Applejack wrapped her arms around her brother. Her eyes were closed and her body completely under control by Rarity and Big Mac. Here, I'm almost done. Rarity took her hoof off and let Big Mac finish for her. He started rubbing faster and faster. Oh, Big Mac,
Okay, hold on, pause that. Okay, that was so funny. Oh, whew. Sorry, I had to pause it. That was so funny. Okay, sorry about that. Let's get back to this.
Applejack was resting herself on her brother as the two fell asleep. Apple Bloom and Sweetie Belle darted off to hide as Rarity walked outside and headed back for her shop. Apple Bloom, this has been happening a lot more than you'd like to think. Apple Bloom remembered that Sweetie Belle was doing during the display. Zecora told me that some sort of disease and that it could be cured, but I don't think I'll be able to keep off of you for much longer. Sweetie Belle half closed her eyes and moved in on her friend. Sweetie Belle, no! We have to stop the disease! She shook her head. Huh? Right! We really should, shouldn't we? But where
Thank
should
God
we
she
start?
snapped out of
Apple
it.
Bloom had no idea what would be causing all this. Then Sweetie Belle thought back to the plant she tripped in. I know! The plant! She screamed with enthusiasm. What plant? On my way out to Zecora's place, I tripped in this batch of plants and they made me sneeze. I only started acting weird after that. It must be the plants. Well, what are we waiting for? The fillies ran as fast as they could towards the forest, only to find Zecora outside by the plants, waiting for them. I see you've come to destroy the plants, the givers of passion. Now why would you want to do such a thing? Zecora asked menacingly. You said so yourself that every pony will die if we don't do something soon. Sweetie Belle was more passionate than ever. Does that really matter? All you have to do is let yourself
she's like
drown
infected
in
now.
pleasure.
Yeah.
I've been watching you. I know you've seen its effects, child. How is it possible you can tell me that you still want it gone? Maybe my special talent is saving Ponyville from being wiped out from a plant!
Yay.
Apple Bloom interrupted. I don't think this is a good idea, sweetie. Don't worry, she's weak from the plant! Zecora stumbled. These spores are what will ascend us! Zecora proclaimed. The fillies then ran up to the patch of plants and began ripping them out with their teeth, inhaling
Yay.
many of the spores at once.
Oh, jeez.
Zecora ran in to stop them, but collapsed under the heavy dosage.
Dosage.
Ha!
There we go.
got her! Wasn't that awesome, Apple Bloom? Apple Bloom?
Oh, no.
Sweetie looked over and saw that Apple Bloom had collapsed as well. She rushed over and pulled
Oh,
her fellow
geez.
Crusader out of the patch, and she pulled Zecora out.
Yay.
Why am I not falling over like they are?
You're
Sweetie Belle didn't
immune!
question
Yay!
any farther and continued pulling out the weeds. Once they were all gone, she saw that the last of the spores flying out of sight. She went back to town and acquired a wheelbarrow to bring Apple Bloom and Zecora to the doctor's office.
A wheelbarrow.
Every pony was acting normal again,
Yay.
except
Good.
Pinkie Pie, who was just being Pinkie Pie. The spores had stopped floating over the town. Sweetie Belle sat at Apple Bloom's bedside.
Aw.
She still hadn't waken up. Zecora had made a full recovery and
Comrades.
silently went back to her home
Yeah.
in the Everfree Forest. Apple Bloom's eyes twitched after what seemed like days. Sweetie looked at her with joy as her eyes finally opened.
Ugh.
Yay.
Apple Bloom rubbed her eyes.
Yay.
What happened?
Yay.
You're safe now. We stopped it. Nobody will act weird anymore. Sweetie, you smell really nice. Apple Bloom sniffed her friend.
Really?
Apple Bloom, why would you... She pulled Sweetie onto the bed and closed the privacy curtain. Apple Bloom, She was hushed by her friend. That was a big heap full of those spores. I know it'll wear off. That's why I want to make the most of it now. Sweetie Belle was sitting on top of her and was pulled down onto Apple Bloom again, began kissing her. Sweetie Belle was sitting on top of her and was pulled down when Apple Bloom began kissing her friend deeply. Their tongues raced across each other's until both of them were completely red in the face. Sweetie reached for Apple Bloom's special place, but was stopped. No, I don't want it to get dirty. Use the bed sheet, Apple Bloom begged. Sweetie had seen plenty of this, so she knew exactly how to move her hoof around her friend's lower body. That feels really weird. It gets better, promised Sweetie Belle.
Oh boy.
I want to
They're fillies.
make you feel good too. Apple Bloom began using the bedsheet to rub against Sweetie's special place.
Oh my gosh.
Ooh, not so hard. The two of them rocked back and forth on each other for a while, but it wasn't enough. Sweetie Belle had an idea. She stood up on the bed and turned around. What are you doing? Asked curious little Apple Bloom. Sweetie turned around and lay on top of her fellow crusader, upside down. Now...
Oh, are you freaking serious, bro?
A 69.
Okay, then. Apple Bloom ran her tongue along her friend's special place to get a taste of it, whereas Sweetie immediately put her tongue in and started twirling around
My
Apple
hair's
Bloom's
getting all
inside.
messy. I'm messing
Just
it
a
up here.
side note, I'd like to ask everybody in the audience if it's weird that I have a raging erection right now. Sweetie,
What the fuck?
stop! Not so suddenly. Apple Bloom couldn't not possibly pleasure her friend while she was doing this to her. Hey, don't stop on me!
I look like David
Sweetie
Tennant
Belle
with my hair
reminded.
messed up like
Apple Bloom
this.
closed her eyes and stuck her
No,
tongue
you
in.
don't. A little bit.
The two of them dug around inside each other
There you
for
go.
a long time. I think I'm going to... What is this...
There, now I look like him.
feeling?
With my hair messy.
Apple Bloom was panting so loud that there was no way the doctor couldn't hear it in the next room. It means we're almost done. It feels like you're too... Again.
Again with this.
Pee! Go ahead. The bed was bouncing as the curtains rattled. Every pony at the office could hear them.
Busted.
I'm going to,
Busted.
said Apple Bloom. Together! Apple Bloom! Sweetie Belle!
Oh my god!
That was an Apple
Fail.
Bloom voice. Oh, trust me. The two were resting in their bed. It's gonna be tough to go outside now. I'm sure every pony heard us. Apple Bloom was concerned. Yeah, well, I think it'll be fine. Apple Bloom glanced at Sweetie's flanks. Oh my stars, what is that? Sweetie Belle glanced at her own flank, only to discover a cutie mark.
No!
Heart.
Hold on. I'm holding my opinion on this until the end.
Simple,
I can
but
tell it's almost
elegant.
over.
I guess it took a rampaging disease to make every pony realize how far their love for each other could stretch. And that's... I guess I hope to show them that. You still show the headquarters and help us, won't you? Apple Bloom asked with a frown. Of course. You guys don't even know how much I love hanging out with you. And from that day on, every pony in Ponyville forever smiled upon each other, remembering the things that took place that winter. There was no need to ever speak of it again. However, every pony was reminded whenever Sweetie Belle's cutie mark was seen. The end. Well,
So she
got a cutie mark for having sex with her friend. I don't know what that is.
Me either.
But I'm telling you, to be able to sit through some sort of, I guess, sort of hot yet sickening garbage like this, I am very good!
You just throw your... Just like, okay, whatever.
But still, I am very good!
Up next, we are not sure. Maybe Lunati.
But thing is, we're trying to lay off the clap fix.
Yeah, we want to try and get some different fictions because we've been doing an awful lot of clap fix lately.
Probably because we find them so funny.
They're hilarious, but maybe we'll see if we can find maybe like a love fic instead, like a shipping fic instead of something.
Sort of like Swayback Mountain.
Yeah, something like that. We'll see if we can find something like that. Maybe
Or something like More Than Buddies.
Yeah. Excuse me.
But anyways, this is JTH. Bless you.
Yeah, sorry. And Tales of Hero.
Saying goodbye.
I certainly enjoyed that fantasy more than Princess Celestia.